Friends on YouTube, this is the story of a man who can listen to trees. Discovers an ancient forest full of magic where gnomes live. Please support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Title: The Elementals of the Earth. The wind in the valley of Oakhaven did not merely move the leaves. It carried secrets, warnings, and memories of times before man first named the stars. For Jean, this murmur was a constant conversation. It all began 30 years ago when a 7-year-old Jean, with scraped knees and boundless curiosity, wandered far beyond the boundaries set by his parents. Following a trail of electric blue butterflies, the forest swallowed his path. The trees, which back then seemed like hostile giants, closed behind him. As the sun began to sink like a bleeding coin, Jean sat upon the root of an ancient oak and wept. His sobbing was interrupted by a sharp, rasping sound. From the ferns emerged Zion, a sprite with skin like cured cedar bark and eyes that shimmered with the mischief of centuries. Zion did not inspire fear. The boy saw in him a spark of shared wonder. The creature offered a small, rough hand and guided him through paths that appeared on no maps, returning him safely home. Before vanishing, Zion whispered, "The forest has a pulse, little one. If you ever need truth, come to this edge, whisper my name to the wind, and I shall come." Years transformed the boy into a sturdy man, but his heart never left the thicket. For decades, he returned religiously, becoming the only human to walk between two worlds. Zion kept his word, introducing him to the Hidden Council, Gestalt, a gnome with a beard of white lichen and eyes of obsidian, the architect of the deep earth who could mold rock by humming a low melody, and Amber, a fairy of vibrant light whose presence smelled of ozone and wildflowers, and whose wings cut the air with surgical precision. Seeing the purity in Jean, they gave him the ultimate gift. They tuned his ears to the frequency of chlorophyll. Jean no longer just saw the forest. He felt the thirst of the pine, the pride of the ash, and the tremor of the fern. But peace is a fragile flower. One morning, the very frequency of the earth shifted, the birds fell silent, and the roots beneath Jean's feet began to thrum with a dull, sickening panic. Then came the roar, the guttural scream of combustion engines and the screech of steel against stone. A logging corporation, led by a man named Varkas, had discovered the valley. The machines were monsters of black iron, felling centuries of history in mere seconds. The tension reached a breaking point when the first row of ancient oaks was toppled. Jean rushed to the human camp, attempting to reason with them, but he was met with violence. Varkas, seeing Jean speak of magical beings, branded him a lunatic and ordered him chained. It was then that the drama turned into war. In a sudden twist, Zion appeared in the center of the camp, not as a playful sprite, but as a warrior of the soil. With a piercing whistle, he summoned the forces of Oakhaven. The conflict erupted with fierce dynamism. Gestalt from the depths caused the ground beneath the bulldozers to turn into boiling mud. swallowing their treads. Amber soared above the loggers, emitting a sonic frequency that disoriented the men, making them see illusions of their worst nightmares. Gene, breaking his chains with the help of a root that shattered the metal at his command, took his place at the front of the resistance. This was not just a physical fight, it was a battle for the soul of nature. "You cannot stop progress," Varka screamed, climbing into a massive processor armed with a diamond-tipped circular saw. Gene, feeling the pain of every severed branch as if it were his own limb, closed his eyes and connected with the mother tree, the heart of the forest that Gestalt guarded. In a heroic act of sacrifice, Gene acted as a lightning rod for the forest's energy. Amber flew toward him, transferring her light through his hands, while Zion coordinated a guerrilla strike with hundreds of sprites sabotaging the machine's electrical systems. The forest became a death trap. Vines moved like whips, disarming guards, while Gestalt raised spears of quartz from the earth to block the trucks. The drama reached its climax as Varkas's saw neared the mother tree's bark. Gene stepped in between, but he didn't use brute force. He used the gift he had been taught. He spoke. But he didn't speak to Varkas. He spoke to the iron of the machine. He reminded the minerals of their origin in the stars and the sacred earth, demanding they not harm their creator. In a twist that defied human logic, the steel of the saw dissolved into rust and dust before touching the bark. The machine collapsed, leaving Varkas vulnerable and surrounded by thousands of glowing eyes in the darkness. The final resolution came not with death, but with an exile. Gene, his voice echoing with the power of a hurricane, forbade the humans from ever returning. The men fled, leaving their machines behind as monuments to the failure of greed. However, the forest was forever changed. Gene, now marked by natural runes glowing on his skin, sat with Zion, Gestalt, and Amber. The price of victory was his total humanity. He now belonged more to the earth than to men. As the sun set over a scarred but free Oakhaven, Gene heard the whisper of the trees thanking him, an eternal melody that ensured as long as he lived. The ancient forest would beat at the heart of the world.